that day. So it's gonna ask you, did you reach your target? And also on the sides, it will show you what are the things that you need to limit. Limit the added sugars to 45 grams, saturated fat to less than 20 grams, and sodium to less than 23 milligrams a day. And it will ask you, did you reach your target? Yes or no? And then, have you been active? So it also gives you a reminder to be inactive. So in regards to the question of how many rice you need to have for a day. So it gives you here 6 ounces or equivalents of grains. Again, the 6 ounce.
Is that cooked or uncooked? Is that cooked or uncooked?
Oh, so I think this is cooked. So it gives you, I think the verbiage on that is kind of tricky. But it says your 6 ounce equivalent. So 1 ounce of grains count as 1 slice of bread, 1 ounce ready to eat cereal, or 1/2 cup of rice, pasta, or cereal. So if you have, if it allows you to have 6, so let's say in the morning you have 1 slice of bread and you have cereal, that's already 2. So you have another 4 of 1/2 cup in the day. So that's equivalent to just 1 cup in the afternoon and then 1 cup in the evening, right? So, but I think this amount is generous. Yeah, because like what I mentioned, the ones that I showed earlier, the other slides from another website, it says only 1/3 cup. So if you have it, you know, just don't make it like 1 cup, like maybe just make it 2/3 instead. You know, don't make like so much of the carbs. You know, again, you can eat, but you have to choose what you eat. So, okay, does it answer my questions? Yes. Yes. Okay. So now I'm gonna show you the zucchini. I'm just gonna. So I'm just gonna cut the ends of these zucchini. You can make pancit out of this.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It's a noodle.
Yeah. So what you have to do is to just make sure it's strong. It has to be in the center.
Zucchini bread.
Zucchini bread, yes. You can mix it with, you know, flour, so it's not.
But that's really sweet.
I know. So you need to lessen your sugar. Yeah. So I'm just gonna lock this so it would run. And I set this. It has 4 settings. It has the spaghetti, linguine, the fettuccine, and also a ribbon. So I will show you different. You know, you would see how it looks like. So it's not just gonna be boring like the same salad you have.
That's a nice one. Where did you buy?
What's the name of that?
This is Bella. Bella. So this
Did I
is.
get that from market?
Yes,
Amazon?
you can, Amazon, you can get it.
brand?
Bella.
Bella. B-L or just in the
L-L-A.
So I actually I have a hand twister. So this is so much nicer. But we made spiralized zucchini noodles and then made spaghetti sauce. And so you know, we had spaghetti, and my husband loved it. And trust me, he is a meat and potatoes kind of guy, you know. And so to substitute a vegetable for pasta, he's like, I'm not going to like that. I'm like, well, you haven't tried it yet, so you know, maybe you will, maybe you won't. Well, I'll tell you something. I didn't even get a second helping. He ate it all. So, it's kind of removing those barriers from your mind that like, this is not the thing that I'm familiar with. I'm going to try something new and it might just be good.
Yes, this is a
It's also passive.
fertilizer. Yeah. There's so many different kinds. The only downside of this is because, this one, if you have a good shape vegetable, that's good. I tried it with papaya, which is not really circled, so it gives me like falling off, so I just need to make sure it's centered. So I made papaya, I used this one to use the achara. Yeah, and it's very good, so yeah. Instead of buying achara outside, yeah, I made my own achara.
Recipe, please.
Sure. So I'm gonna make the ribbons.
Can I ask a question?
Yes,
Like, for example, you said you need 1,800 calories. How would you compute for, you need carbohydrates, you need protein, you need fat.
So
How
that's
much
the
carbohydrate should I eat? How much fat should I eat? And how much protein should I take to make up 1,800 calories?
That's the job of the dietitian. And we individualize that, based on your, activities. Usually
Yes,
the carbohydrates is 50 to 60%. And then protein is about 30 to 35. And then fat is 10 to 15.
Out
Something.
of 1,800. Thank you.
So, okay. And then the keto diet, I think they have more protein and then they lessen the carbs. The carbs is like 20%.
Mhm.
Second question is, if you want to lose weight,
Usually,
how would you
So-
advise on the cut off of calories on every day? You cannot do it abruptly. You have to
right.
stagger it.
Yeah, so usually the other ways of doing that is they cut down 500 calories
Every day.
every day.
Either
So-
either carbohydrates, protein, or fat, or any
Yes.
burner.
It's it depends on your lifestyle or how do you
Suppose
prefer.
moderate the useful activity. Moderate
500 calories. That's why people have cut down on carbohydrates
carbohydrates.
because it's
You
easier.
advise
Yeah,
carbohydrates.
it's easier for us to kind of see that the carbohydrate is not really needed because you need carbohydrates just for if you have
Energy.
extraneous activity like if you run daily, who does the very athletic
Yes.
activity in a day. So
So you still have to know which type of healthy food actually is so healthy, which has more carbohydrates, because there are some vegetables that have carbohydrates like corn,
yes,
squash,
right, yeah.
and potatoes.
Yes,
They have more
so those are called as starchy vegetables.
Starchy.
So if you choose that are less starchy or they consider green vegetables, those are healthier choices versus the carbohydrate or starchy vegetables. So the non-starchy vegetables such as cucumber, zucchini, broccoli.
Squash.
Squash is
Squash is
starchy. Yeah. The only good thing for those kind of vegetables, because of the potassium and the magnesium, these are healthier elements or minerals compared to just, to the rice that, very seldom or very little of those nutrients. So.
But isn't it better to choose, if you had to choose between a starchy vegetable and a piece of bread which is refined, it's better to choose the vegetable than it is to choose the refined carbohydrate.
And
So-
processed bread.
Yes, thank you for that. Yeah, so yeah.
The same with fruit.
Yes, the same with
Ripe fruits contains more sugar.
Yes. So that's why, instead of having 3 fruits in a day, you can just cut down into 2 instead of 3. 3 fruits in a day, then you can just do more of the whole grain.
Grapes and cantaloupe, they're very high in sugar.
So that's, it's really, a decision. How are you going to choose what you need to eat for the day? So this one I'm doing the ribbons.
The other thing I think too is to, sneak vegetables into things. So for example, like there's two choices of dips in the kitchen, right? There's a ranch dip and then there's the spinach dip. Well, in the spinach dip, there's spinach, there's water chestnuts that are 3 grams of carbs per 8 ounces. There's green onions in that. And then there's the dehydrated vegetables that come in the soup mix. And so, the nutritional content, of having those vegetables kind of sneaked into your dip is better for you than just eating the dip that only is like fat and, some seasonings.
So that's all for my presentation.
I have
Any other questions? Yes.
What is your comment or what is your take about salad master way of cooking? I know they're expensive,
What is
but
that?
salad master. Salad master way of cooking.
Oh, salad
Using a
master?
master.
It's just the equipment. So is it right? I think that's the salad master. Yeah, it's
They're
just a-
advertising and they're trying to
Yeah.
verify those
Isn't it pretty?
that show.
Yeah.
Break it.
They show me a demo how to do it, but it does. It is healthy because you don't use
know,
oil.
huh?
Yeah.
And you get all
Right,
the
now that I've
nutrients,
touched it, I'm
you
gonna
don't use water.
It's okay.
and you cook
Take a piece of it off.
just
You're gonna pass it on for
and
folks.
let it
Thanks.
cook when you don't use it.
Yeah, I mean, if it's,
Oh,
if
this
it
is so
shows
weird.
that,
Yeah.
um, that way of cooking is good. Yeah, I would recommend that. So, but again, it's, it helps you to choose what are the best way to cook them, and which is, if it's economically saves you time, then because it's really hard when you, like what I mentioned before, it's better to cook your own food because you are able to control the ingredients in there, the salt that you put it in, you're able to control versus the restaurant that's really high in salt and
They don't promote use of salt or herbs.
yeah, and also the oil that they use. Like I mentioned, I think there was a question last week, right, about the trans fat, the canola oil. Actually, canola oil is good, but if you use it for prolonged cooking and prolonged time of cooking, how many days they use it outside. It develops the trans fat, so it's not really good for the health when you do that. And then the trans fat, other examples other than margarine are those found in cookies, shortenings. They use it for to make these cakes really taste good. So, okay.
You're better off with olive oil
Olive oil is
altogether.
good. Yeah, olive oil because like if you don't use it for frying, for salads, it's good because it has a balance of omega-3 and omega-6. So again, the omega-6, if you have it too much, these are coming from like soybean oil. It's not good as well. So again, that's why they have it omega-3 and omega-6 ratio.
Okay.
So the more omega-3, it's better than omega-6.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Yeah, omega-6 coming from, omega-3 is coming from fish oils and flax seeds.
Avocado oil is it good?
Avocado oil is good. Any other questions?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you tell us something about intermittent fasting?
Oh, the intermittent fasting,
6 hours.
they do 12 hours. They do 10
48,
hours. I
like
think there's some 10 hours. So it depends on, let's say if you start fasting from 10 o'clock in the evening, right? let's say 7 o'clock in the morning. So in the morning, it's 12 hours already, another 7. So let's say 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., that's 12 hours, right? So if you extend another 4 hours, so that's until 11 o'clock, which you are about to eat your lunch. So it gives you rest, your body is able to rest and kind of remove the toxins from from the regular things that you do. The metabolism in your body is rested. So if you have 12 hours of fasting, it's beneficial for your body because your body is able to reset your metabolism is reset, and then versus the whole 3 meals that you have. Because imagine the whole 3 meals you're just consuming your food. You're not, you have so much time like to consume your meals. But with the intermittent fasting, you kind of like reduce the amount of the food that you're going to take in. If you have a low blood sugar, that's not really recommended. That's why you have to speak with your doctor, if you're going to do that, or speak with your dietitian, because every individual is different. So I cannot, say what is good for you is good for you.
There's an app for it.
Yeah.
I have been on it for 2 years now.
Oh, you are.
I lost it 12 pounds, but sometimes you get bored with it, and so you tend to go back.
But were you able to sustain it? Were you able to sustain it? Yeah.
Yes, you have to sustain it.
Yeah, of course, it's not perfect. We are not perfect. Sometimes we have, things, but again, it's always the moderation. It's the key, and temperance is the virtue that we have to apply. Yeah. Yes.
So, intermittent fasting, even if you do it at night, like during resting hours, it will still work.
I'm sorry.
If you do that intermittent fasting at night, like if you say last meal is at 6 p.m. and you do other things and then go to bed at 9, but not do anything,
Right.
it still works.
Yes. Yes. So basically, the recommended is after you eat a dinner at night time, at least 3 hours, don't eat anymore before you sleep. Yeah. Because you have more time to digest it.
Yeah, excuse me. So that means like if you're on a 1500 calorie diet a day and you miss 16 hours of food, does that mean your intake should just be, it's cut off now to like 1200 or 1000 because you miss 1 meal. Is that the idea of the intermittent fasting?
No, the intermittent fasting is the cutting off the time frame that you're going to eat.
Yeah, but the amount.
The
Say
amount,
for-
it could also affect the amount because
Exactly.
you have lesser time to consume your 1800 calories in a day.
And you get a lot of water.
But 1800 calories is not much really.
Yeah.
It's not.
They count your calories according to your height and weight.
So we're going to close this up. I know that you guys have lots of questions and it's wonderful, but Maria has to leave. She has another appointment, and our favorite dance instructor is here, so we're ready to get started for the afternoon. Maria, I just want to express, our thanks, Belly and I, for the effort that you've put into this, all of the wonderful educational, tidbits and tips, and really exciting ways to change up those carbohydrates in our diets as well as the salt. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mia.